This is CBC Here and Now.
The main road in the Ghouls is probably the busiest that it's ever been, and that's because there's a massive Chase the Ace jackpot up for grabs tonight. I'm live on location, and I'll keep you posted on that coming up.
A break in the Courtney Lake case? Police search the home of an ex-boyfriend.
He has stage 4 cancer and wants to work, but Transport Canada says no.
It's bewildering to me, it's mind-blowing.
He might have been in the room when it might have been presented as bullshit.
Danny Williams defends former Nalcor boss Ed Martin.
And here in the weather department, things stay unsettled over the next couple of days, including the Canada Day long weekend. I'll have your latest forecast coming up.
Police executed a search warrant in the East End of St. John's this afternoon.
Yes, it was at the house of a man with a connection to Courtney Lake.
She's the 24-year-old mom who went missing earlier this month.
And here now's Megan McCabe has been on this story today, and she joins us now with the latest. Megan?
Just moments ago, police were searching that home in the east end of the city, and they've been waiting there since last night. The RNC will not confirm that this search is connected to the suspicious disappearance of Courtney Lake, but we know an ex-boyfriend of Lake's lived there. Shortly before 5 o'clock today, police were taking items from 22 Alice Drive. This 2-unit house is owned by Philip Smith and his dad, Melvin Smith. In court documents, it's also listed as the home of a 23-year-old Philip Stephen Smith. Smith was in a relationship with Courtney Lake as recently as this year. He's currently in police custody for breaching court orders. On June 7th, the same day that Lake was last seen, Smith was charged in Mount Pearl with driving a vehicle while disqualified and failing to stay away from Lisa Lake, Courtney's mom. Smith was also ordered to stay away from Courtney Lake. There's been no sign of Lake in the past 3 weeks since she was seen walking away from her mom's house in Mount Pearl that night. Now, Philip Stephen Smith is not charged in connection with Lake's disappearance. He's due to appear in court for a bail hearing next week on charges of breaching previous court orders. Carolyn?
Thanks, Megan. Well, he has stage 4 cancer and he knows he isn't going to get better. But Ken Harding says he can still work, but Transport Canada is standing in his way. Here now's Todd O'Brien has the story.
Ken Harding is living one day at a time, literally. He's got kidney cancer that spread to his lungs, liver, and spleen. Diagnosed in 2013, he's not letting it stop him.
Since then, I've been on 4 different bouts of chemo. I've actually also been on the Opdivo drug, a super immune boost drug. None of them so far have obviously reversed the cancer, and they're never ever going to reverse it. The best I can hope for with stage 4 cancer is to stay stable.
Ken spends his days working around the house and driving a cab to make ends meet. But what he really wants is to get his old job back, working part-time as a cook aboard the Belle Island ferries. But he hasn't been allowed back on board since something in a doctor's note caught the eye of Transport Canada. Harding needed to be examined by a doctor and declared fit to work. He got the doctor's note, but Transport Canada decided he wasn't fit to work and wouldn't issue a marine medical certificate. The reasons why? He's undergoing chemo and is using medical marijuana.
It's bewildering to me, it's mind-blowing that in this day and age we're living in a free country and that they decided to take my right to work based on cancer treatment.
Transport Canada's rejection letter reads, "Marijuana is prohibited in the marine environment, and therefore your use of marijuana, although prescribed, is a significant concern. It is also concerning that you are actively undergoing treatment for end-stage cancer."
Yes, it surprised me. It surprised me that it became an issue for the fact that I do not consume it when I'm on board the boat. My hitches are only a week on, week off when I do work. I don't need to do it. I have been prescribed it to use it, but I don't have the big severe side effects that the chemotherapy is not affecting me that bad.
Transport Canada has agreed to hear an appeal of Ken Harding's case. Until that happens, all he can do is wait and hope.
And I'm still not ready to lie down and to die for that. I mean, I want to work. You need to work. Mentally, it's playing havoc on my mind, probably worse than what cancer is doing. It's a situation like cancer that is out of my hands, and I can't believe it's happening to me or anybody else.
Todd O'Brien, CBC News, Portugal Cove.
Name-calling, questions about who's telling the truth, calls for a public inquiry. That is some of the recent debate over Muskrat Falls. Today, a big personality weighed in once again. Former Premier and Muskrat Falls champion Danny Williams. Here now's Terry Roberts been following this today. He joins us now live. Terry?
Well, yes, Debbie, the man who inked a deal to develop Muskrat Falls nearly 7 years ago came out with guns blazing today, with current Nalcor CEO Stan Marshall directly in his sights. Danny Williams, in a good mood, unveiling a new street name in Galway. But he unloaded when asked about Muskrat Falls and Stan Marshall's criticism of it.
Don't like what's going on in the province. Here we are, building, a great world-class project, and you've got the boondoggle buffoon, I couldn't call him anything different, who happens to be the chair of Nalcor, who is out, trashing this project. I don't know how he keeps his job. Nobody else that I know in the corporate world would be allowed to stay on as CEO who's out saying, this is a boondoggle, or this is worse than the Upper Churchill.
Now, Marshall was brought in to lead Nalcor and has raised eyebrows, saying Muskrat Falls should not have been built, suggesting early cost estimates were lowballed. Now, on Friday, Dwight Ball ignited a firestorm. He released a 2013 report that foreshadowed major cost and schedule overruns. Ball says the report was ignored by Nalcor. Today, Marshall says it was offered to Nalcor but never accepted. Former CEO Ed Martin says he never saw it. Now, Williams is defending Martin and adding his voice to a growing call for an investigation.
You do a forensic audit, have an inquiry, do whatever you want, but it should be done. I think it should be done, because you need to clear the air and you need to clear the reputation of a very good individual with lots of integrity, and that's Ed Martin.
Now, government says it will do an in-depth review, but now is not the time. As for Williams, he once suggested Muskrat Falls could be built for just over $5 billion. He'd invest his own money if he could. Now the price tag stands at $12.7 billion. Power bills set to double. Despite all this, Williams says it's still a world-class project. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Terry Roberts.
And as Terry mentioned, Danny Williams was in Galway today to officially open the development's model home. Williams says he's an eternal optimist and wants to invest in long-term projects like Galway that the province can be proud of. Now, this home has a price tag of $559,000, but Williams says Galway won't be a gated community for millionaires. He says the development will have affordable options for people from all walks of life.
Residents of Froude Avenue in St. John's are picking up the pieces after a devastating fire on Monday evening. 63 people were affected by the blaze, which tore through an apartment complex near Mundy Pond. Now the province is rallying behind them. Here Now's Ryan Cook has more.
Flames still reached for the sky on Monday evening when the giving began at Froude Avenue Community Centre.
The fire started, I don't know if it started 20 minutes. Somebody said maybe we go down and open up the centre and see that we can offer some support. And when we got here, there was 20 bags of clothes sitting on the doorstep.
The centre was overwhelmed. Bags of clothes at first, then food, furniture, baby supplies, everything a person could need during these desperate times.
It was a big shock. It was something that we didn't decide to take on. But I think the community in itself voted us to take it on, and it was basically here, so here we are.
On Wednesday, Dawson called for the big donations to come to an end. They simply ran out of space. These are being used now as temporary storage, and we're filling up fast as volunteers move the donated goods from inside the building. After all, they have to get back to their neighborhood programming. For the young camp counselors with the children's summer program, their job has gotten a lot more important.
It's kind of sad watching everyone, they just lost everything, so it's devastating trying to watch them piece everything back together and find what they need and be confused, they don't know what to do or where to turn. So that's probably the hardest part, and watching the kids not really understand what's going on. So It's difficult, but we're going day by day, so we're getting it done.
Now, for anyone hoping to offer help through the Froude Community Centre, you can still do your part with gift cards or cash. Dawson and his team will now assess the 63 displaced people and give them what they need. He's been blown away at the support that's come through their doors.
People from, I don't know, all the way from Claremont has been making donations and wanting to donate, so it's been awesome to bring that close and bring it into town.
From the ashes of these ruined homes comes a little hospitality. For Here and Now in St. John's, I'm Ryan Cook.
Now to another bad fire. This one was northwest of Gander in Little Burnt Bay. A house was destroyed there last evening, leaving a family of 4 homeless. The Canadian Red Cross is helping a mother and her 2 children with emergency supplies. Her husband is working out of province.
Well, the judge who led the inquiry into a 2015 police shooting death is calling for changes he says could prevent similar tragedies from happening again. Commissioner Leo Barry's report from his inquiry into Don Dunphy's fatal shooting was released yesterday. Here and Now's Mark Quinn has more.
Don Dunphy died here at his home in Mitchell's Brook. RNC Constable Joe Smythe shot at him 4 times. Barry accepted Smythe's account that he opened fire in self-defense after Dunphy pointed a rifle at him. During the inquiry, an expert witness suggested Smythe missed an opportunity to de-escalate the meeting with Dunphy. One of the options was to leave and regroup, said Terry Coleman, an expert in police training. It's something Barry addressed with his first recommendation, saying police need better crisis intervention training.
Where the emphasis is on de-escalation or defusing of a situation rather than resorting to force.
Barry says if Smythe had had better training, he might have kept the confrontation from escalating or left before lethal force was necessary. The RNC hasn't responded to CBC's request for comment on this. The RCMP was also criticized by Barry. He says they were too quick to accept Smythe's account of what happened. Barry says the public would have had more confidence in the investigation if it had been done by a civilian-led oversight group like Nova Scotia's Serious Incident Response Team. In a statement to CBC, the RCMP says it's reviewing Barry's report and will keep working to maintain and build trust and confidence.
This was a very tragic incident.
Andrew Parsons is the Justice Minister and ultimately responsible for policing in this province.
We're taking this very seriously and that the public needs to have confidence.
He says he'll have more to say about the report's recommendations after thoroughly reviewing it. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
People who usually rely on the shrimp plant in Twillingate for a paycheck are now wondering what the permanent closure of the operation means for them. That story is just ahead.
And also still to come, a teacher with an adventurous streak tells us about his 700-kilometer wilderness trek across the province.
Ta-da!
Nice to be back.
What happened to all the nice weather that Carolyn was giving us? Everything.
I'll take all the credit.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as I come in, the rain, although the beneficial rain. But yeah, Carolyn, you definitely brought the nice weather. And I'm sure you're disappointed that I'm back.
Oh, so disappointed.
Yeah. No, you did a fantastic job. And
thanks.
for pinch hitting. Nice to have a little family time. And everybody's doing well at home.
That's fantastic.
Good.
Okay, so we're going to start before the weather with something to show you.
That's right. Now there's lending a helping hand, and then there's this.
3 people in Port au Choix spent 45 minutes in the water on Monday trying to help this beached whale.
Todd House says the group used their bare hands at first, but that didn't work.
Then he went ashore, got some 2x4s, and that managed to push the whale out a few feet.
Oh, but the poor creature was still stuck after 45 minutes, so the men gave up. But by the next morning, nature had helped out and the whale was free.
Excellent. Todd House said he felt very good about that and he'd do it all over again.
That water can't be warm.
No.
And you can see they're soaked right up to the waist there. So good on those guys for giving it a shot. And nice to see that things worked out. Now highs today, again, not Carolyn Stokes type weather, but not too bad with highs in the 19 to 20 degree range for a good portion of us. A little cooler along that south coast. Happy Valley Goose Bay to Cartwright, the hot spots today. In that 23 to 24 degree range. Mary's Harbor right in that mix too. Labrador City around 18 degrees today. Current temperatures, yeah, we have really dropped off in St. John's. Back to 10 degrees as temperatures have fallen through the day. Still at 20 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, 16 in Labrador City. Things are actually turning active for you folks. You've had a pretty nice day for that stretch from Lab City to Happy Valley Goose Bay, but the clouds have been building and a pretty good chance of seeing some showers and even a risk of a thunderstorm for this evening into the overnight. On the island, we've been watching the rain that's been streaming in from the south. The heaviest amounts have again been over eastern parts of Newfoundland. You look at the radar, seeing some brief breaks here over the last half an hour or so. Still some scattered showers off to the south, but yeah, the bulk of the heaviest rain is done. Just lighter rain to drizzle on the menu for the evening, and then that tapers right off after the midnight hour. Central Newfoundland, again, some pretty steady rain still working up through your neck of the woods over the next handful of hours, but things clearing out through this evening there as well. As I mentioned, that cloud thickening and those showers and thunderstorms building up, that risk of thunder anyway for Happy Valley Goose Bay to Labrador City through this evening. Pretty steady rains, northern peninsula up into southeastern Labrador, pulling out of central, pulling out of eastern Newfoundland. And then by the time we get to tomorrow morning, it's a dry start for central and east. That chance of showers will redevelop again for western parts of Newfoundland. We're looking at drizzle and fog to start the day along the south coast. Temperatures are going to be quite mild to start the day, 10, 11 degrees, and a pretty good chance of showers, and not ruling out a rumble of thunder from Cartwright to Happy Valley Goose Bay to start the day tomorrow. Labrador City around 7 degrees. The temperature trend in St. John's tomorrow will bring us at least close to the 20 degree mark. We'll be certainly flirting with that mark. Not sure we'll get lucky, but we'll be close. Southwesterly winds. That isolated chance of a shower is into the afternoon. There's a slight risk, 30% into the morning. Better chance, 40% into the afternoon. You'll note that the best chance of showers, I think, will be certainly Clarenville, Bonavista, back towards the western Avalon, but there's certainly a risk for St. John's tomorrow. The drizzle and the onshore winds with the fog will be more persistent again for the south coast with that southwesterly wind for tomorrow. Temperatures will range 16 to 19 degrees for the Bonavista Bay, Trinity Bay areas for tomorrow. Some sun breaks to start the day tomorrow. Watch for the clouds and the shower chances to increase into the afternoon with the risk of thunderstorms from Terra Nova back towards Grand Falls, Windsor, and the Bayvert Peninsula for tomorrow, primarily later afternoon into the evening hours. The west coast, slight risk of a thunderstorm. Best chance will be over the Humber Valley region, again up towards Bayvert. 15 to as warm as 18 degrees for parts of the west coast. Also a risk of a thunderstorm over the northern peninsula. Not ruling it out for the Straits tomorrow, 12 to 14 degrees there. And again, some showers on the go for most of Labrador tomorrow, where we're looking at quite an unsettled day. 9 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, 14 in the west, 8 degrees in Nain, and just 4 in Makkovik. And we'll talk about Friday and that all-important Canada Day weekend forecast coming up. Debbie?
Thanks, Ryan. Well, Chase the Ace fever has taken over in the Goulds. St. Kevin's Parish started the popular fundraiser back in October with the hopes it might last a few weeks. Today, the jackpot is estimated at more than $400,000. Here now's Jeremy Eaton has spent most of the day in the Goulds and joins us live. Jeremy?
Well, we're standing here on the main road in Goulds, and as you can see behind us, there's a lot of traffic here as everybody's trying to get their hands on some tickets. So the event has become so popular in the last couple of weeks that the RNC is on site, and they've shut down part of the road here behind me between Doyle's Road and Keith's Drive, and it's pedestrian only. So as you can see that there's lots of people walking down to try to pick up their tickets because they want to get their hands on what they hope is the winning ticket so that they can get a chance to try and get their hands on the elusive ace. So earlier today, even in the pouring rain, people were lined up trying to get their hands on tickets, but not just for Chase the Ace, also for the 50-50 as well. So last week, the 50-50 alone was over $52,000. The volunteers at St. Kevin's, well, they're a well-oiled machine. In the hour that I was there, hundreds of people and tens of thousands of dollars moved quickly through the parish hall doors. Everyone buying tickets hopeful that their number gets called and that they'll get a chance to pick one of the 15 remaining cards. Now here's a little of what a few hopeful people told me earlier today.
Like everyone, half of the island here, trying to win the money.
How many weeks have you been coming to Chase Ace here at St. Kevin's?
6 or 7 weeks this year.
And if you were to win, they're estimating that the jackpot could be $440,000 tonight. What would you do with that kind of money?
I'd have a ball. I'd have a ball, yeah.
Take another trip. I'm going on one now, but I'll take another one.
I haven't been here before. What's the atmosphere like when they're about to draw the winning ticket for the Chase the Ace?
It goes really quiet, and I must say everyone claps for the winner. So it's really nice atmosphere.
Now the rain has let off a bit, but regardless, there's no dampened spirits here today. All the people who are walking by or driving by are telling us that they've got the winning ticket, and everyone is hopeful because organizers say the jackpot is an estimated, now just an estimate, of about $440,000. But we're not going to find out who or if somebody wins that until later tonight. But we'll be back with more on this. Reporting live from the Goulds, I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now.
Well, some longtime fish plant workers in Twillingate are considering possibly abandoning their industry. The provincial government is giving workers information about retraining, and this comes after the closure of the local shrimp plant last week. Here and Now's Garrett Berry reports.
About 100 people from this fish plant are now out of a job. They have just heard details about what the province can do to help them, but for some people, it'll mean leaving the only life they have ever known. Here's the choice: make work projects at minimum wage or back to school for a new career. A tough call for lifelong plant workers.
We don't have anything. Our livelihood is the fish plant. That is what we do. We are fish plant workers. And to go back to school and retrain, even if in my case, if I had to go back to school to retrain, I wouldn't know what to retrain for.
Many aren't interested, but retraining is the way forward for one cleanup worker.
At this point in time, we need book smarts because, I mean, for a lot of people who want to do the ABE, I mean, you need a grade 12 diploma to push a broom, to be a janitor. You know, I mean, it might sound ridiculous, but I mean, that's the way it is now.
Burge is looking at heavy machinery. He has age on his side. But what's out there for older workers?
It may be something within the tourism industry, where Twillingate is so big on tourism right now, and that tourism industry is growing here. So they may want to go back and learn something in that field that may be able to keep them to work at home.
33 years Elliot has worked at this plant. Now she must move on. There's no life here.
My whole life has been in that plant. That's been my life. And to see that and to even just think that I can't go in that plant again is devastating.
There is still hope that this plant could open once again. Maybe cod comes back or shrimp rebounds. But until then, workers here have a tough decision for their future. Garrett Berry, CBC News, Twillingate.
Up next, the present is about to meet up with the past.
We'll tell you about the young Newfoundlanders heading overseas tonight for a better understanding of this province's role in World War I. Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, tonight, 35 students will fly out of St. John's to begin a somber pilgrimage to follow the Trail of the Caribou in France and Belgium. They'll spend Memorial Day at Beaumont Hamel, remembering the soldiers who died there 101 years ago. Now, some of those students were selected because of Heritage Fair projects they did about their relatives who fought with the Newfoundland Regiment. This afternoon, I spoke with two of those students and the president of the local division of the Royal Canadian Legion about why this pilgrimage is so important.
What it is basically is passing the torch of remembrance to the new generations, and to go over there and see the kids standing in the middle of a cemetery, tears rolling down their eyes. It's amazing. It's a life-changing experience. They're going to get a history. They're going to see trenches at Beaumont Hamel. They'll see the trenches. They'll see the names of all the soldiers and sailors. Everybody that's missing with no known grave in Newfoundland is on that monument, and they'll see that, and some of them will see relatives of theirs, and it's very, very moving when they see it and they walk over and they point to it.
For my Heritage Fair project, I chose to do it on
my great-great-grandfather's cousins, Richard and Peter Power. Before they enrolled into the Newfoundland Regiment, they were both fishermen, and they fished their whole lives. And then Peter joined the Newfoundland Regiment a bit before Richard, serving in Beaumont Hamel and Gallipoli. Richard was very brave in the war, as many soldiers were, but during the last 100 days when he served, he received 2 very high medals for the Newfoundland Regiment. And I know that Peter did come back with the service medal as well.
I did my project on my great-great-uncle, Private Augustine Hearn. I learned that Augustine was a 17-year-old boy from Newfoundland. He grew up on Signal Hill Road, and he was the oldest boy out of like 5 siblings. His first actual battle was the Battle of Gallipoli, then on to Beaumont Hamel, then to Monchy. Well, he was with D Company, so he was the ones that got captured on Infantry Hill, where the Germans had gone around and looped them in, and that all of them were either taken prisoner or killed on the spot.
When you see a grave with a soldier from Newfoundland on it, and he was 18 years old, some of the kids are 18 years old, and they just stand there and shake. Everyone they got questions like you wouldn't believe, but they see a young 16-year-old's gravesite and they just lose it, and everybody loses it. Once one starts crying, everybody starts.
When I arrive at the battlefield, it's going to be a bit emotional as well, because I've read a lot about it, and they weren't very big battlefields and small trenches and stuff, so just to see that a lot of men were here and they served their time and most of them died over there, it's just going to be very emotional.
I imagine it would be peaceful because of all this that happened, but everything going there and stuff like that now, once again, very depressing and upsetting, but I feel it's going to be good just to see it and be this is where all this travesty and stuff happens.
Some of them being maybe 15 years old when they went over, and I can just imagine how scary it must have been, because in the beginning they probably didn't think much about what was really going on because there wasn't much communication about it, but as they got over there, it was probably a lot of gunfire and stuff, and I can just imagine how scary it was for them, and that's probably what it would be like for me as well.
So many people lost their lives so far from home, and what I try to pass on to them is, how did these people get there? We're flying over, it's going to take 5 hours. They went across by ship. They came from all over this island, probably walked and came by boat to get here. And when you explain that to them, they just shake their head and say, they went on a joyride and never came back. I hope they learn the futility of war to begin with, and how much they owe these people. The way of life we have today, they give up their tomorrows, basically, for our today. And that's something I think they should take away from it, and I'm sure many of them do. It's such a part of our history. Our history basically was defined by Beaumont Hamel. How many politicians and how many doctors and lawyers did we lose at Beaumont Hamel and on the Battle of the Somme and Gallipoli? So to me, every Newfoundlander, wherever you are on July 1st, should pause at 11 o'clock and think of these people and just remember, because we made a commitment to remember them, and we should be remembering more than we do, I think.
Well, to this next story now. One man with one dog and a 700-kilometer trek through unspoiled Newfoundland wilderness. In April, Justin Barber and his dog Soku set out on the expedition of a lifetime. And now, more than 2 months later, they're back. Nakshi Pandit caught up with them.
Come here. Stay. Saku's obedience and loyalty came to prove very helpful to his owner. His companionship and presence helped Justin Barber stay calm on his cross-province trek.
We got out into Placentia Bay, which is an open area in the Atlantic Ocean. There was a swell, winds coming up from the south, and it got a little bit, loppy, and the waves were bigger than I probably expected they were going to be. And, that was a tense moment there for a bit.
But the graveness of the journey did not get to Barber for long.
Saku was there for me. I had the ear talked off him, and in the times where I get to a low point and I'm really feeling the grind and the distance that we have to cover, I look at Saku and he makes me laugh.
The expedition took 70 days to complete, and now that it's all over, Barber is taking the time to reflect.
It's a pretty great feeling, actually. the greatest I've felt in my life, I think. And you know, it happened quickly, but I'm back. It was nice to be back and see everyone.
And the reason he did it? The thrill.
Out there, you're living the moment. Everything is one thing after the next. You don't really know what's going to happen. And to me, I like that. I'm someone who gets bored easily, just doing normal things. And that's something that means a lot to me, to go out there and do that.
It wasn't an easy trek. 700 kilometers of wilderness and waters. Many parts of the journey were remote, with no trails or cell service. And for safety, Barber kept 4 checkpoints throughout the route where he could load up on supplies. All Barber had was a lightweight tent, an inflatable raft, and some food, to make up a backpack weighing about 80 pounds. So, is another expedition in the making for the pair of adventurers? Well, Barber says nothing is off the books, but for now he's going to focus on documenting his latest trek. Nakshi Pandit, CBC News, St. John's.
So people are flocking, making their way down towards the St. Kevin Parish Hall, trying to get their hands on a Chase the Ace ticket to try to win the big jackpot tonight. I'll have more details coming up.
Let's head back to the wet scene in Goulds now, where some lucky person will soon get the chance to pick a card and possibly win hundreds of thousands of dollars. The St. Kevin's Chase the Ace jackpot is estimated at $440,000 tonight. One of those hoping for a chance to flip the ace is our very own Jeremy Eaton. So Jeremy, what's the scene like now?
Well, it's starting to get, it was busy before, but it's actually gotten busier here on the main road as everybody's making their way towards the parish hall. Now, a lot of people, because the road is closed here behind me, a lot of people are parking their car behind the camera here, and then they're walking towards the parish hall. And they're able to do that because what the organizers have done is they're using a local, using a local FM station to keep people posted. So when the number is drawn, they'll read it over the FM station, because you got to be on hand. You got to be in it to win it. You got to be on hand to win it. So when the number is called, that person has 15 minutes to make their way to the parish hall to go for the ACE. Now, the road around the hall has been shut down for a few hours this evening. The event is such a big deal, even Mary Brown's is getting in on the action and has a special Chase the Ace special. Safety staff is on hand to help with parking. Now, the organizers at the parish never thought it would get to this, but here we are, just hours away from the big draw. Now, I cannot tell a lie, but I myself have purchased a few tickets earlier today. And when I was standing in the line, I chatted to the people in front and behind, and they told me a pretty nice story. Last week, the gentleman whose number was called went up and he went to pick the ace. Didn't get it, but he got the consolation prize, which was more than $41,000. Now, he owns the Greco Pizzeria, which is just right next door to the parish hall. And what he decided to do was, rather than keep the money for himself, he was going to give it to the 19 people who work for him, many of them college kids, so they all got a couple of grand out of it. So it's kind of a party-like atmosphere. Not everybody's in it for themselves, but a lot of people are in it for the money. And so if I do win, I'm probably not going to share it with any of you guys. But either way, we're not going to find that out till about, that's so mean. We're not going to find that out till about 8 o'clock tonight. But I'm going to be covering it, so tune in, keep an eye on the Twitter and our website, and we'll keep you posted if someone does walk away with the estimated, now this is purely an estimation, $440,000. Reporting live from Goulds, I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone Hearing Service St. John's, helping the world hear better.
Jeremy's not going to share, and we were so nice to him when he was here in the studio.
I was about to give him a compliment and say that he did a great job. We always hear when you're out live, people honk when they drive by. And what are you at? Yeah. Nice response there. But I'm not gonna, now I don't think it was all that great, Jeremy. If you're not going to share the money.
But a nice Greco pizza story.
That was a great story. Yeah. Very nice to hear sharing the wealth there. Okay, sharing the wealth in terms of showers, which we do need. Over the next couple of days, things are going to be staying unsettled across the region. Pretty good chance of showers. In fact, off and on right through the Canada Day weekend. Unfortunately for you folks hoping to get out and enjoy. The good news, we will see some breaks in between. There are your highs today. All across Atlantic Canada, we were generally into those high teens and low 20s. Now, your weather on the way headlines, we do have more showers on the menu for Thursday. Unsettled pattern pretty much into early next week. And Canada Day, we are going to be clearing but cooling. That's going to be the trend right across the island. In fact, Labrador will see clearing and cooling for Friday. Here's how things will play out. Watch your future tracker. Our first low, bringing the rain that we're seeing right now, is moving out. Tomorrow, it's a quieter start for central and eastern Newfoundland. Showers already on the menu to start the day on Thursday along the west coast and across most of Labrador. This trough will work its way onto the island into the afternoon. That'll just get the atmosphere bubbling up, keep things active, and we will see some scattered showers and even a thunderstorm risk extending into central parts of Newfoundland for tomorrow afternoon. There's a slight risk of a shower in eastern parts of Newfoundland tomorrow afternoon as well, but the best risk from central back across into the big land. Temperatures again are going to be cool in those onshore winds with that southwest wind, 12 to as warm as 16. We're looking at 18 to as warm as 22 degrees for you folks inland, which will be most of us, and for the forecast in Labrador, again quite unsettled. Onshore winds are going to keep temps cool along that Labrador coastline for tomorrow. So that trough will work its way out. We'll see a brief break again early Friday, but watching this next low moving in, and that will once again spark up some showers and a risk of a thunderstorm for central and western Newfoundland on Friday. Eastern, A+ kind of a day. In fact, if you can take an extended long weekend, Friday is really shaping up to be a dandy. Increasing clouds, temps into the mid-20s for eastern parts of Newfoundland. Showers will clear out of Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and Labrador City as that system slowly but surely departs. This is going to be the interesting setup for Saturday. The system will clear. It's all about timing. Does it clear in the morning or wait until the afternoon? The latest forecast models do so show some pretty significant clearing into the afternoon, which is good news. Maybe even some sun breaks central down into eastern parts of Newfoundland. But either way, the northerly wind is going to be punching in behind that system, which will keep temperatures in the 12 to 15 degree range for central, the northeast coast, and into central. Now for Sunday, late day shower risk for central parts of Newfoundland, temperatures near 20. Showers a good possibility for western Newfoundland. I think the showers hold off, and it's just mainly cloudy for St. John's and eastern parts of Newfoundland. So a quick look at that 7-day trend. You can see showers will return to eastern Newfoundland on Monday with a chance of some scattered showers central and west. For Tuesday into Wednesday, we will see a bit of a drop-off in terms of temperature. And there's your long weekend forecast in Labrador, which looks great on Saturday. Some showers building Sunday into Monday.
Let's meet our young athlete of the day, who is from Twillingate. She's Brooke Daly. She's 5 years old.
Brooke has been a member of the Island Blades Figure Skating Club for the past 2 years, and she loves skating with her friends, learning new skills and practicing skating faster.
Congratulations, Brooke. You're today's young athlete of the day.
Well, he told a judge he'd rather be in a war zone than a jail in this province.
But that's right where he's going. The story in about 3 minutes. Welcome back to Here and Now. He said he'd rather be in a war zone than jail, but jail is where cab driver Lulzum Jakopaj is heading. The former citywide driver was sentenced today to 4 years for following a female passenger and breaking into a home. The CBC's Ariana Kelland reports.
This is Lulzum Leon Jakopaj pleading his innocence last May.
I know myself, I done nothing but make sure she get home safe.
Police didn't believe him, and neither did Chief Justice Raymond Whalen. Today, he sentenced him to 4 years in prison for his on-the-job crime. Jakopaj picked up a woman on George Street in his citywide taxi last May. He dropped her off at her ex-boyfriend's house. Jakopaj never disputed it. What he did next landed him here. The 33-year-old followed his passenger inside this house in Kilbride, but was scared away by the woman's ex. He elbowed him in the eye in the process of escaping. That 4-year jail term is on the higher range of the 2 sentences suggested by the Crown and defense. One reason is that he breached his trust as a taxi driver. Whalen saying citizens of St. John's, the province, and the country need to feel safe when hailing a cab. But heading back to jail is worse than war. That's according to Jakopaj, who was thrown into the horrors of war at age 12 in his home country of Kosovo, telling the court last week he'd rather war because you can run and fight. He was shot and beaten, ripped away from members of his family. Those experiences gave him post-traumatic stress disorder. But the judge didn't buy his PTSD diagnosis played a role in his B&E. With time served, Jakopaj has 3 years left in jail, but he's back in court in the fall on charges of sexual assault related to when he was a taxi driver. Ariana Kelland, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, security will be tight on Parliament Hill this weekend. About 500,000 people are expected for Canada Day celebrations. They're being asked to arrive early and be patient. The CBC's Evan Dyer has more on the Canada Day security effort.
Well, the City of Ottawa always sees some road closures around Canada Day. That's normal, but usually the area that's cordoned off is just the immediate surroundings of Parliament Hill, the lawn in front of Parliament Hill, part of Wellington Street. This year, quite a different story. First of all, the road closures extend much further. They go into Byward Market area here on my right. They extend down Elgin Street, which as we can see here has been closed since yesterday. And they also last for a long time. This particular street closed on June 27th, won't reopen until July 4th. That's Tuesday afternoon. So a full 7 days closed down to traffic, partly because crowds are expected to be bigger, but there are also concerns about security. One of them, of course, being truck attacks, as we've seen in cities like Nice and Berlin. So we're also expecting to see truck barriers on the day. So the perimeter this year is a lot bigger than most years. It's also in place for a lot longer, but it's also going to be a harder perimeter, one that's more difficult to get through. Everybody wanting to get onto the hill is going to have to snake their way through these barriers and then pass through metal detectors, which are going to be in place around the precinct for the first time on a Canada Day. Basically, if you look up here, you can see it's an awfully long way through this snake line to the white tent here in the middle of Wellington Street, which is going to be where people are scanned for weapons. And so police are asking people to please come early as 8 or 9 a.m., which of course means a very long day, well over 12 hours. And also not to bring anything they don't really need, particularly if they're bringing backpacks. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
An Ottawa father says he's had to resort to breaking the law to help his drug-addicted teenage daughter. Sean O'Leary went public with his campaign to help teens with addiction earlier this year, and he founded a support group called We the Parents. But over the last few weeks, he says his own daughter's drug use has been out of control, and police have intervened. Julie Ireton has the story.
Paige O'Leary likes getting ready to go out with friends. She's 16 and in many respects a typical suburban teenager. But that typical life has been interrupted by her addiction to dangerous drugs.
Xanax and cocaine mostly, nothing else.
Okay. Do you have any concerns that there might be something in the Xanax that you're taking?
Yes, there quite possibly could be fentanyl in it because there's fentanyl in basically everything right now.
That terrifies her parents, and that's why her dad recently took a desperate measure, forcing his daughter to stay at home and stay off drugs. He also knows that's illegal.
By holding them in your house and not letting them out to do drugs, you're breaking the law. Like everything, any options as a family that we're left with require us to break the law.
But Paige knows her rights. Recently, held against her will, she managed to find a phone and call 911. Police came to the house and picked her up.
I'll just ask them to drive me to Canada or whatever, just so I can go do drugs.
They just proceeded to drive her to Tim Hortons in Canada. So in the end, she got her free Uber ride that she wanted in the first place. And there was Dad sitting back at home going, what the heck happened?
This officer who works with young people isn't surprised by this situation.
They're over 16, really. There's nothing we could do to make that youth stay, and they have that freedom to go at any point in time if they wish.
And that's left O'Leary feeling powerless.
It's a scary situation for families and for everybody.
Julie Ireton, CBC News, Ottawa.
Wow, a harrowing rescue in California. A 25-year-old Nevada man was plucked from a rock in the middle of a fast-moving river.
Fortunately, he was able to grab onto that boulder just before he was set to plummet down a 12-meter waterfall. The man clung to the rock until the Highway Patrol helicopter could get him to safe ground. He walked away with only minor scrapes and scratches. What a close call. Welcome back once again. Well, it's never a good idea to get too close to the wildlife. It can be downright dangerous. Well, the solution, if you just have to get that close-up of a grizzly, use a telephoto lens. Photographer Rick Price took these photos of bears in national parks in Banff and Jasper this spring and caught up with some beavers in Hinton, Alberta as well. All of the beauty of Canada's mountain park wildlife from a safe distance. Oh my, magnificent.
Well, here's another beautiful creature. Take a look at this remarkable example of pachyderm parenting. Yes, this group of elephants was drinking from a pool at a South Korean zoo when one of their calves named Hope fell in. They spotted her floundering and sprang into action, trying to reach her with their trunks. And when that didn't work, the gentle giants took the plunge themselves to help little Hope to safety. Now, we know an elephant never forgets, right? So we're sure hoping that Hope will pay it forward one day.
That's
good to see she's just fine in the end.
That's remarkable footage.
Oh.
Amazing. Great footage there. Forecast, not great, but not half bad. 19 in St. John's tomorrow will certainly flirt with 20 degrees. Definitely into the low 20s in Central with a risk of a thunderstorm there. Again, cooler in Labrador with that north-northeasterly wind for you folks. As we take a look at your viewer picture of the day, a spectacular shot. I'm not sure where this was taken because Daryl Miller only mentioned that he took it while offshore crab fishing. So great picture there nonetheless.
Oh, thanks, Daryl. Gorgeous. That's our program for tonight. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Night.